Y'all are so quick.
Birdie, birdie.
Birdie, birdie. Hey, what's up?
Hello, Redhead.
How you doing, boys? How you feeling? Is everything good? Everything cool? Good, good. Nice. Sitting here waiting for a stream, and here we are. Well, exactly. Here we are. Alright, I'm gonna try out this game my nephew told me about. We're gonna see what it's all about. Transition. Motherfucker! Here we are. Got PC back up and running and out of my room. Nice. Setting up for remote access. Some school stuff is Windows specific and it's driving me nuts. Windows is the best. Jesus fucking Christ. 12 months, Milo. That's right. That's right. Thanks for the sub, bro. Gonna try to max out my PC to its limits. What game are you trying that out with then? How you doing, Milo? My God. Subscribe for 12 months. That's insane. Windows is goated. Mac is also goated. No, it's only. Yeah, fuck the music in the game. Or wait, no, that is actually kind of nice music. It's not horrible. Chilling, relaxing, gaming, same old. I'm good. I'm tired. Went for a walk today. Went to an outdoor gym. And my body's just destroyed afterwards. I didn't even do anything heavy. I'm just old and body's shit. They are all tools. Use them all to your advantage.
Welcome to All Things Scottish. Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's
Hitman
crap!
World of Assassination with max settings and ray tracing. Dope. Milo thinks it's hot that I'm old. Nice. Good to know. I wonder if my face is gonna be in the way for something. I'm gonna give a flower to someone. Alright, so it's either this guy is a young dude. You can't see because my face is in the way. But it's a young man here. And then you got the old zaddy. The obvious top here. And you know what we're gonna do? Go with tall, dark, and handsome. Alright, see you, Milo. Thanks for checking in. What the fuck? What was that? Oh no. Oh no. Alright, we're gonna flower him as well. Alright, flower for everyone. What the fuck was this about? We grew flowers out of everyone. Welcome to your kingdom. Oh, that's a cute duck. Your Majesty, the kingdom stands ready. Though much remains to be built, let us proceed to your tower. There are matters most urgent to attend to. Ooh. Preparation, upgrades, concealers, galerie, encyclopedia, challenge. Preparation. Oh, for fuck's sake.
The good guy 544 just redeemed on the
we should
Rizzler
probably
shirt.
get rid of that
Get
one
to
though,
it.
because like
The good guy
with the new camera setup, you
544
can't see
says,
the Rizzler shirt. I gotta resize the whole thing. Can you refund yourself those points? Can I refund? You can. All right, refund yourself those points. I'll try to disable it while we're at it as well. Creator dashboard. Power-ups and channel points. It's like 250. Yeah, there we go. All right. All right. Should this be your first time, I highly recommend starting with the tutorial. We'll provide all the guidance you need to rule wisely. All right. Let's go with that. King Baldwin. Morale effects. Increases damage dealt by all units by 1% per morale. Love a percent per effect. Race militia. Some 3 peasants. I don't understand any of this. Let's go tutorial. New building available in this encyclopedia. Oh Jesus, there's a lot of stuff to just look at. Greetings, King. I am Gustav, your loyal advisor. I am here to remind you how to manage your kingdom. Strong economies build strong empires. To start off, build a couple of wells. They produce water, which is essential for basic production. Kingdom depends on your supervision. Only buildings within the area your gaze covers will work.
The good guy 544 just redeemed positive affirmation. Be nice to yourself, you pretty boy.
Positive affirmation. Why is it so difficult? You can move and rotate it using both mouse buttons. Positive affirmation, man. Okay, Jesus. Interesting. I'm a very considerate person. Is that good enough? Time to place a wheat field. All right. Alright, I'm enjoying the look of this.
Dribs _ just redeemed positive affirmation. Be nice to yourself, you pretty boy.
Another positive affirmation. Wow. Get another one cooking big sexy. Oh, I was just reminded. Yeah, I thought about this the other week actually. That it seems like I make people comfortable most of the time. Like my presence seems to make people more just comfortable overall. I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party. Stony is catching a Heracross. Fucking yeah, Heracross is a dope Pokemon too. Agreed. No, don't say sorry. I love that walk on. I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party. You're doing great, my king. Ruling the kingdom is not only about the growth of the economy, but also defending against enemies. We know that goblins have planned raids on your castle, and you can view them on the timeline. Love a good goblin raid. You cannot recruit any skilled troops yet, so arm your peasants for now. Construct a peasant hut and recruit a couple of them. Note that the recruitment cost is listed in the building tooltip. Alright, what the fuck am I, where am I gonna place this then? I'm gonna do that, or? Like, how am I gonna? How can I expand the gaze? Oh, here we go. That's the way I want it. Oh, okay, so I can flip it around. Cool, cool. The hut has reached its recruitment limit. If you want to recruit more peasants, you need to build a new hut. Yeah, hey, Soli Poo. Alright, can we do this then? 4 goblin bandits. Oh wait, that was the enemy forces. 1 goblin? Oh, come on. It's like one of those soap operas where I walk through the door and like time slows as we both run to each other. That is beautiful. Kill your first enemy. I got that achievement. You received rewards for defeating the wave. Claim them. I'll take some money and a market. Gold doesn't grow on trees unless you tax them. You can get gold by selling resources at the market. Your next priority should be gathering enough materials to build it. Alright. How do we do this then? Would need a tree. Can we go here? Oh, and I need food as well for that, yeah. Troop limit reached, yeah. We got that. What happens if I build over there? You have everything required for the market, you should build it now. The market is complete, good job. Start selling, you need to choose the type of resource you're going to sell. Right now you only have wheat to sell. Open the management menu and select wheat icon. Quick test on the game, and holy, this PC can handle Hitman with all max settings plus ray tracing. Nice. Nice. Good guy. Dang nice. We can trade wheat, I guess. Or we can't trade wood. We only got, oh Jesus, 2 bandits and 4 wall busters. Broader gaze. Oh, we need gold and, oh, okay, interesting. Can we go with this? I feel good. I don't think I'm gonna be able to defeat these guys. Hey Panda. Hey. Thanks for this sub. Haiku. Nah, I've paused haikus for now.
Subscribed. You are seen and appreciated.
So you don't get anything from subbing anymore. I'm terribly sorry. Except my eternal gratitude and love. Nice to have you here, though. Your castle will also receive damage. Keep them intact if you don't want goblins to get inside. Don't tell me what to do. You have received an archery. Some proper troops will be useful right now as raids are getting tougher. Let the archers shower the enemy with arrows while the pens do the up-close negotiations.
'Cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day up.
The building has almost run out of its resource. When the limit is reached, the building will be destroyed, so be prepared to replace it with another wheat field or a tree. Interesting. We're gonna go with this. Can we trade iron then? I definitely need more wheat. No worries, my money already spent on it, so just chilling with it. Nice, nice. I really appreciate it, man. Appreciate you. Right, we don't want to be selling anything, actually. Fuck me, man.
Lowy just redeemed hydrate. Glug glug mother lover.
Glug glug. Hey, Louis. Barracks. Once we recruit a sizable army. Management in the army term. You can see all the troops that you have recruited. You can order your units to go into the barracks, where they won't be able to participate in fights. This is useful when you wish to hire new, stronger troops, but don't have space in your army. The troops in the barracks can be let out later and can serve as your backup army. Well, that's really nice. Alright, cool. Well, we need them now, though. Well, this kinda sucks. My boys died. Can I train enough dudes to send out? Dang. Yay. We got a spell. No play? Motherfucker. Yeah, no, I paused the music. We can actually kick it up again. Let me just now it's so much stuff happening at once. We're gonna do meteorite for sure. There we go. But yeah, the bot has been off for a while now, I think. Drag and drop them into the battlefield when the opportunity arises. You can produce your own spells with the buildings you've just received. Kill. Illusion of choice. I just want a broader gaze right now, honestly. Only because enemy's MacBook is broken at the moment. Oh, I didn't know that. That fucking sucks, man. Militia camp. New building available. Prophecy. You've been given a prophecy. Here you can determine the next 3 waves of enemies that will attack you. With stronger foes come better rewards, but be wise, not all treasure is meant to be won. An enemy wave that's too strong could wipe your entire castle away. You can't even read the prophecy. Now make your decision so we can continue. Inevitable. Optional. Ooh. 4 goblin swordsmen. Advanced production, 45 resources, building upgrade, basic production. That's 3 people. Basic production, levy barracks, no. Oh, okay, so I can like add to the wave or not. That's interesting. It's sent in for repair, but you don't know how long it will take. Yeah, if it's $1 for every time enemy has broken his
We
MacBook.
live in horny jail. You can't send us there. We've got
Horny
the
jail.
keys.
Alright, fuck. If you ever wish to remove a building from your castle, you can enter demolish mode and destroy it. You will be able to construct it later. Just remember that the spent resources will be lost. Alright, so you don't get resources back. Then you receive new troops. Building, we can replace the peasants with stronger troops. You should demolish one of the peasant huts to construct the camp. How did I enter demolish mode again? Wait, fuck me. Let's just pause this right quick. Raise militia. I am King Baldwin. Spawn troops on the battle. Choose whether new created troops should appear on the battlefield or in the barracks upon creation. Alright, interesting. I'm not seeing an option to destroy stuff here. Fuck off. Why am I an idiot? Sell selected blueprint and receive denarii. Ooh. This is kind of what I want going for me, right? Right now. Let's see. Oh shit, I didn't even notice what I did there. But I increased the troops. Alright. That I actually should continue doing that. But I want the bigger gaze. Who doesn't want bigger gaze? If you know what I mean. Pew! I killed him. Oh my gosh, I can mine for gold. I'm gonna grab that one. Looks like the trader has arrived. He sells a variety of items, building spells, resources, and more. I would recommend buying one of these artifacts, but the choice is yours. I'm having a lot of fun with this game so far. When I was a kid, I used to like draw my own games on paper. Like turn-based resource management games on paper. And this kind of reminds me of that, so it's a bit nostalgic for me. Hey, enemy, what's up, friend?
Obey your master, master, master of puppets, a bullet is
That's the one we're doing on. Small wheat field, peasant's hut. Grapes, metal, clay. I'm good. How you doing, enemy? What's happening in your life, friend? Most of the troops you can recruit have their own unique traits which affect the battlefield or production in some way. Some troops work exceptionally well with others. Okay. Unit trait. Plus 1% to all production for each peasant on the battlefield. Well, that is really nice to have. Plus 2% HP to militias for each militia on the battlefield. Okay, so they boost each other. Warriors for each crossbowman on the battlefield. Alright. Super fucking interesting. Alright, oh my gosh. We're almost there. We're almost at the broader gaze. Yeah. Gaze area upgrade. You have accumulated enough resources. Each king has their own gaze size with a separate upgrade path. Oh, cool. This the king is watching. That's the game, right? The king is watching. I'm loving this. Planning the layout for your whole castle is a formidable task. So if you ever need to move a building somewhere else, you can do so by holding shift and dragging it to the new tile. Well, that's what I've been waiting on. Move buildings suffer a production penalty for some time. So resort to this only when you must. Gotcha. Now try moving a building somewhere. Fuck me, man. What do we want to move then? Where? You over here, I guess? Improvements on this tile suffer a minus 25% debuff to production. I didn't even know that. I'm stupid. Do you need some time to think? Press the pause button or space. Nice. This is very good to know. Increase maximum unit limit. What if we do this? And we change that to that instead. I need more water again. Have a look at the people's morale. Different kings have different morale effects. And for you, the damage dealt by all of your troops is boosted. There are different ways to increase, such as producing wine. Yeah, they're not super happy morale-wise. Ouchies. Well, that kinda sucked. I should get rid of that. Nice. What does this mean? Alright, I'll select the wheat field. We'll grab some crystals. I don't even know what they are, but there we go. Just moving stuff around for now. Definitely need to up this. Meriatir. Replenish your army with troops from the barracks. I wish I had troops from the barracks, bro. You know what I really wish I had, gang? The spell I spent on the first wave, that was the easiest wave. Would have loved to have that spell still. Slowly generates basic spells. Alright, we need more wheat. Tutorial complete. Nice. But for now, take this. You've earned it. See if you can purchase or upgrade something in your kingdom. Oh, cool. I have 5. All of these things cost 7. Motherfucker. Alright, preparation then. Construct required building to access. Gotcha. Village. Challenges disabled. Locked away. One boss fewer than usual will attack your castle. Easy mode. Alright. This is the first one, so I have to do this one then. Alright, cool. Touch the ball to reveal your fate. I'll touch my balls. Margra. If you thought Gorzog was trouble, meat is better and far more terrifying. How? Margra. Every bit the warlord her husband is. Margra has twice the brains and half the patience. Rumor says Gorzog's impressive size is largely due to stress eating prompted by her fiery temper, though no goblin dare say it aloud. Margra plans battles with ruthless efficiency, usually while berating her husband for overlooking crucial details. Her iron flail swings relentlessly, matching her brutally sharp tongue. Legend says she once frightened off a battalion by loudly criticizing their armor. Don't underestimate her. After all, she survived being married to Gorzog. The boss decided not to activate this mod for now. Interesting. Okay. Continue. We're gonna pause before we do anything else here. Let's see. We need food and wood. There we go. Now we're getting resources. I'm thinking maybe we put peasant huts there. Fuck, we still need water though. There we go. That needs water, that needs wood. Alright, we'll go with this one then. Ping, can't fix, server broken, we'll fix another day. Sorry, have a nice stream. Alright, enemy. Hey, thanks for checking in. Love to see you here, bro. Hope you have a wonderful time. Yo, right, no boss. No artifacts yet. Blah. Denari, levy barracks. Militia camp, madhouse? Use hit and run tactics and poison enemies. Bone pit? No, we're going with the militia camp, man. Could go for a gold mine. Ooh. Denari, spell. I'll take the spell first. Then the Denari, and then levy barracks. But maybe not the swordsman. Maybe, yeah, just normal fucking wall busters. Ooh. Rewards artifact. I kind of want to put that one there. 45 resources, spell, artifact. Wait. Alright, 4 wall busters. We can deal with that. I'm gonna hate myself for doing this, but here we go. During a routine inspection of your treasury, your attendants stumble upon a dramatic crown that looks like it was designed by an edgy jeweler going through a rebellious phase. Aw, my camera's in the way for a lot of this. Your court mage beams. Your Majesty, the crown of Veldrath grants unmatched power and a mild insanity, but think of the possibilities. Destroy this fashion disaster. Building upgrade times 2. You receive nothing. 50%. Oh, okay, so it's 50-50. Empower your madhouse. Wear its superstitions be damned. Receive permanent morale 7. I'm gonna need the troops though. Rather than wearing the suspicious crown, you cunningly donated to the royal madhouse. Oddly enough, the residents there seem perfectly comfortable with its supposed side effects. Soon the madhouse thrives with creative energy and slightly more gibbering. Your advisors cautiously commend your decision, noting that madness and genius often dance together in entertaining ways. Yay! We're gonna move that there. They are quite mad, you see. Really need to upgrade unit limit here as well.
Sean the non-believer.
And just here's the lurking hubs are playing Left 4 Dead 2. Kitty. Oh my god, Left 4 Dead 2, such a good game. Such a good game. Thanks for the lurk, bestie. Yeah, bot is down. Sadly. Alright, we're gonna have enemies on top of us any day now. Let's go there. Murder! 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 10 denarii. 2 spells. Fuck yeah. Choose some of your troops to be banished from this world for 30 seconds. Ooh, applies 30% move speed and 30% attack speed debuff to enemies in the air for 6 seconds. We're gonna do the debuff. Chop chosen trees to get 40 wood per tree. 20% chance that they'll spawn an ent instead. Blinding light. Alright, we're gonna go with offensive spells only here. Let's see if we can up our game. There we go. I would love to have a militia. Honestly. Produces blueprints for buildings? Oopsie. There we go. Oh shit. Alright, we definitely need to like slow them down. Denarii, artifact. Champion, units stun an enemy once every 20 attacks. Receive Billings Magic School Magic Color. No, we're gonna do that one. Here we go. You can place that there. Let's see. Gonna put, yeah, 4 peasants in. We're gonna take one out. Oh shit. Let's just summons 3 peasants. Let's go. Blinding light! I gotta kill these fuckers. Nice. Said I can't send my bot here for this Steam. Too much stuff to change. No. It's all way okay. It's all good. We can do another militia camp actually. Another artifact. Receive 25 at the start of each wave. Sawmills and trees damage enemies when they are Ooh. Oh, I'm going with a straight up boost. There we go. All right, can I do something like this? Basic production. And then maybe like, fuck if I know. Wait. There we go. Denarii, trader. Alright. Planning to maybe stream tomorrow though. I'd ask if you want to stream together. I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow, but we can talk over Discord tomorrow, and maybe we can stream together. It'd be nice, I think. if my mental health will accept that. Every 1 second, random enemies dealt 12 damage. Nice. 25 wood at the start of each wave. 1,000 water upon picking up this artifact. Produce multiple resources at the same time, but slower. Ooh. Spawns bumblebees. Cute. Will slow down enemies in their ranged attacks. So spell reward for each sheep sacrificed. Fireworks. Enemy units in the area effect receive 30% more damage. Place a barrel. I will let you know, promise. Faster trading. Each active market provides 5 morale. Troop training receive as a pending reward. No, we're gonna go with that one. Alright, what if we do this and then go there? No, we need wood. Let's see here. So I need one more of the militia. This feels like a good setup. 2 wheat and 1 gold. Right? Because then when I have enough wheat, I can just switch to this. And then all of a sudden I can do this instead. That's a big fat fuck. Denari, levy barracks. Wouldn't mind some hunters. Basic production. Definitely a clay mine. Another iron, or an iron mine to begin with. Receive buildings, reduce the first king's ability cooldown by 25%. Ooh, that's actually not bad. Basic construction and prophecy. Cool. If you're not able to stream tomorrow, give me an idea on what to stream. Thinking something with horror or VR, but fully not sure. Ooh. Five Nights at Freddy's. Just because I fucking hate that game. You should stream it, man. Alright, we're gonna grab some wall busters, I think. There's normal fucking bandits there. Phasmophobia VR. Nice. Yeah, of course he wants to join you. One goblin pig. Goblin bandit. Alright, let's do that one. Kingdom infrastructure. You know what? We're gonna chance it. We're just gonna increase the difficulty of these fuckers. Your kingdoms, lumberjacks. I'm so sad you can't see this picture. It's from The Shining. But I got Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach I can play. Only 5 nights I got. Or just Hitman. Try it out. Like if Hitman is the game that taxes your computer the most, then try to do that and stream at the same time just to see how it affects the stream. Your kingdom's lumberjacks, famed for their resilience, have braved every winter until now. This winter's unprecedented cold has claimed many, later found as lumberjack flavored popsicles. A lumberjack flavored popsicle. Very, very popular in Canada and San Francisco. The survivors now demand health insurance, reasonable hours, and even something other than grog to fight the cold. How will your grace handle their audacity? Receive troops. Receive resources. Dispatch soldiers to motivate them. Improve their quarters. Allow more rest time by introducing shifts. I think they should have more rest time. You're gonna kill my new PC? Yes. Murder. You establish shifts, giving the lumberjacks some much needed rest. Morale improves noticeably, but your advisors are baffled by a sudden increase in lumberjack-themed poetry readings and knitting clubs during downtime. They even come up with an idea of how to expand your kingdom's lumber production and propose a new felling zone. Cool. Wait, did this continue without me? This is not acceptable. We need clay. Clay and money. Stinky nets. Oh, stinky nets. Oh, so stinky. Right, you know what? We're gonna move that fucker over there. And we're going to create some space over here. Oh yeah. What is this? Noble's Palace. You can drive them away by pushing the upgrade tree. Let's go with this one instead then. Basic construction. Your choice. Alright, go. Denari, basic production. I'm gonna grab another wheat field. Troop training. I don't have any champions. Brigade, militia, hunter, peasant, and madman. Hello, wife. Are you feeling okay? No. No. I think she wants to fight me. Why is that red now? Brigade? I don't understand this game at all. Broader gaze, we need 600 gold. Whoa. Alright, I'll see if I can kiss her.
Just redeemed kiss
I'll
wife.
be right back.
Smooch the wife. I kissed her. Can't send 5 in a row. Sick. You can't or you won't. Yeah, no, we're gonna do this actually. Can I switch those? Nice. Let's just spawn more peasants. Because, like, they're gonna die, right? Nice. Artifact.
Ranged troops receive 4% chance of shooting an additional projectile for each warrior ally. I'm gonna do that one. More hunters. And maybe destroy that and destroy that. And then we're gonna grab some hunters there and grab some of that. We're gonna see what kind of damage we can do. Alright, so we got a bunch of peasants. A bunch of madmen. And some militia dudes. Oh, right. Fuck, this is the big wave as well. Fuck me. Oh, Jesus, this is not good. Wheat field, sawmill, iron mine, clay mine. Clay. Let's go. Ooh. Oh my fucking god, I did it. Kingdom infrastructure. Speeds up the king's ability cooldown recovery while active. Okay, cool. Boosts the production speed of all buildings of yours under your gaze by 20% while active. Adjacent improvements start working without needing to watch them. Yo. Swordsman barracks, archery. We're gonna grab the swordsman barracks and some archery stuff. We need resources though. Alright. Definitely don't need the peasants' huts. Dealt by a swordsman for each swordsman on the battlefield. Battlefield. 10% attack speed of flying troops for each hunter on the battlefield. Alright, so flying troops can go suck a dick. How do I get the brigade though? Next build cost. Why is it not producing more dudes? Denari, trader. All rider units, no. When constructing buildings, 10% of resources are returned. Ooh, nice. We're grabbing that one. Oh, right. I need the food to build people for my army. Of course. Holy shit, this is not good. Denari. We can grab another militia thing. Green bushes? No. Wheat field? Yes, please. Haha, funny title. Right? Summons a stationary unit which counts the fallen blade on any unit attacking. Yeah, blade caster for sure. Summon a temporary toad when a production building is depleted. Sure. Alright, fuck me. Levy barracks, basic production. Research resources, troop training, yes please. Building upgrade, kingdom infrastructure. Let's try it out. Golden bandit, golden shaman. Alright. What up, Nick? How you doing? Oh, come on. I could have upgraded my gaze if I had 50 of those. A group of court mage assistants went missing in the woods. The search party found only bloodstains, tattered robes, and sinister book titled 100 Otherworldly Wisdoms from Friendly Eldritch Spirits. Big tired. That was you. Also big tired, man. But today's been a good day. Receive permanent morale 7. Yeah, we're gonna defile the tome. Does that mean I fuck the book? You boldly deemed the tome fit only for the royal privy, perhaps even as toilet paper. Outraged, it retaliates by slightly reducing your royal gaze, shrinking the area within which your workers feel supervised. On the bright side, you're fearless. Seriously? It fucked up my gaze? No, it didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's go with this one. Let's see, gold mine. I can do these. I can do these. That seems fair, right? What are we gonna place here, though? Feels like we don't need that much more tree. We can let's have one of those there. Let's put him there. Oh, please don't tell me I wasted him now. I did. Hey, Karoo! Hey, it's Karoo! What up? Grape bushes? I think I'm gonna need more wheat fields. 5% of everything extra coal with each production cycle. Alright, we'll try you out then. I'm just gonna send them all back in. Oh, look, froggies. Good evening, Miss Artie. What up, what up? Nice to see you. Let's see if we can use those. At work, I'll be lurking. This reminds me of Legend of Zelda, right? Thanks for the lurk, Miss Artie. Appreciate you. Alright. When that one gets destroyed, we're gonna put another militia house there. There's so many people. Oh, come on. Truly, you would do this to me. Denari. Ooh, Madhouse? No. Archery. Fuck. I'm gonna grab some crystals. Been here 4 weeks. Oh. Big tired is big bad. We don't want tired. Uh, 69. Nice. I am a mature, grown-up man. How do we know when it ends? This game. Which I still need gold. I want gold. Oh, that's much better, right? Pew pew. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Mage motherfucker. Oh no. I love babes as just something you call a friend. I think it's such a wonderful word. No, babes. Can produce any resource at random. Executes one of your grunt units to provide denarii for each unit. No. Now we're gonna have fairy fountain. Somewhere. Let's go there. Whee! See, they're happy. Yay! Happy little fairies. Iron mine then? Fuck, I don't know. Gonna make my life worse and play Counter-Strike with the boys. Good luck, Nick. Have fun. IDKY started calling people babes, but I like it. Babes is a wonderful word. It is a wonderful word. Makes you feel like a babe. Wait, no, we don't need more food actually, so... Boss incoming. Alright, Margra, Goblin Giant, Goblin Shaman. I think I'm gonna be able to do that though, or deal with that. It's gonna be fine. It's just so full of love and makes me happy, and usually makes them happy. So win-win. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I see 4 random spells. Ooh, that could be good though. Let's fucking go with the random spells. Summons 15 blades, fall in a horizontal line. TNT barrel. Wrath. Feel my wrath. Alright, if we deplete the clay mine, we can put some swordsmen there in my bow. Have even a more effective army. It's gonna be super cool. I don't know what to do. We love random spells, oh, for sure. Always love randomness in games. So this clay mine I haven't worked in a while. Mostly because I want these swordsmen. I want their swords. Their manly swords. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. Margra, Goblin's War Lady. Jesus Christ. 3.4k. Let's try to fight, please. Please try to kill her. I win. I win. I am the best. Claim your rewards. Denari. Legendary artifact. Through all resources are returned. Ooh. Increases max unit HP by some... Fuck yeah, give me the medal. Launches legendary fireworks to make your people work 100% more productively. Sunshine any of the pulse. I want offensive spells only. Academy of Fire. Yo. Mushroom Grove. Alright, the only one I can do is Academy of Fire. Ooh, Crystal Mine though. Troop training. Gonna train the warriors. Elite barracks, advanced production. I want that. Some basic production would not go awry. I mean, kingdom infrastructure, sure. Sun-faced? What is a sun-faced? Alright. We're gonna fight 2 of them in a row. Goblin Peak. Alright. Let's go. Your chief alchemist has unveiled his potion of bullish energy. Fuck off. It's potion of bull's energy. Alright. Promising endless productivity. A peasant worker peasant works tirelessly after drinking it. Come morning, however, he's asleep upright, mumbling, "The walls are melting." Your advisor has split some call it a revolution, others warn of overwork. Meanwhile, rumors spread of peasants sneaking bottles for personal use. No. Fuck you, bull's energy, uwu. It's obviously a Red Bull. Jesus fucking Christ, Karoo. Get a grip, woman. Touch the ball to reveal your fate. Boss defeated, all production increased by 15%. Your enemies are gathering strong force. Consider upgrading your army. I'm gonna consider upgrading your mom's army. I'm a thirsty streamer. Fair. Precisely how this monstrosity came to exist is fiercely debated by terrified scholars and tavern drunkards alike. Some say it's a goblin warlord who made a reckless pact with eldritch powers. Others insist it's a demon that was imprisoned by ancient dragons and force-fed goblins. Admittedly, something dragons might enjoy. Whatever its origin, its hunger is legendary and alarmingly literal. From the abyssal void within its grotesque maw, fresh goblins spew forth fully formed, eager to rampage and ruin. It's unclear if this is an intentional strategy or simply indigestion. Either way, it's extremely inconvenient for everyone involved. Approach them all with caution and preferably with someone slower than you close behind. Yo. Hey, Ducky! What's up, Ducky? Duckster! How we doing today, Ducky? How we feeling? Are you alive? What am I even doing here? There we go. We need money. We need cash money, bitches. And possibly some hoes. Oh, sorry. Horny jail. Horny jail. You're all right? Nice. Good to see you too. More production. Produce, you fuckers, produce. I'm annoyed that I can't get rid of these annoying buildings. Noble's Palace. Stinky nuts. Honk, honk, honk. Indeed, a honk, honk. As they say. Down on the continent.
You're not my supervisor!
Jesus, I'm not your supervisor. But you need one. You really need one. Is he firing fireballs or whipping a target? Karoo needs no supervision. Karoo got this. See, that makes me think that you do need supervision, though. Let's go! Roar! It's biggin. Pending rewards? Ooh. Big well. We could get rid of this one. And we could place big well. Why doesn't it cover the whole screen like last time? We made it smaller because enemy was like, it covers the whole screen. That's a problem. So if you get a problem with it, take it up with the boss, man. Oh, okay. The big well only lasts for so long. Very sad. Fairly harmless today. Yeah, sure. Feels like if Karoo says she's fairly harmless, that just means she's up to something. Alright, we are having issues here. I have too many troop creation thingies. What if I do this and then I do that? How about it? Fixing your shoutouts, nice. I haven't been. I've been a bad boy. I haven't been streaming for ages and ages and ages. And so I haven't done anything with my bot or my shoutouts or anything. One day I shall get back to it full time. And then you shall see. We'll grab another iron mine. Mill. The forge is what we want. The forge is what we need. Alright. We're gonna use the forge. As soon as the big well is fucked, we're gonna use the forge. I'm here for the awesome vibes. Good. Good. The vibes are indeed awesome. Damage dealt by sword by 100%. I wouldn't worry about it. I still work stuff out. I have still to work stuff out of my profile. It's just like I dream of a day, of a place of being where doing anything or doing stuff doesn't take a lot of energy, basically. Whee! Oh no! No, the village! What happened? No, oh, that's bad. Oh, I fucked up the village. Yikes. Speeds up the king's ability cooldown recovery while active. Heals your injured troops while active. That's actually really good. I'm gonna grab that one. Carpentry. Mill. Forge. We can grab the mill. See what happens there. Iron mine for sure. Basic production. Gold mine. Let's go. Jesus, does this give me like minus points here? Because I done murdered a gaggle of people. Alright, it's slower because I moved it recently and shit. There we go. This is kind of neat though, so I can just... right, we said forge. Hospital. Monument to King's Gaze. That's the one we want. That one is 3 units. This one is only 2. Let's go. I'm wondering when it's gonna end though. Broken penny. Gain 3 gold for each point of damage dealt to your castle. No, it's all good. Gain 3 wood when you create a unit. Sawmills and trees damage enemies when they are working. Yeah, let's go with that. That seems much better. Morale is high. Cool. Grunt. Why is the grunt a sad one? No push-up button. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But he was not sorry. In fact, he was very happy about the no push-up button. For now. I'm gonna return the push-up button sooner or later. I promise you this, chat. Fucking, I want to get rid of these fuckers. What did that do again? Start working without needing to watch them. Oh shit! Wait. Right. Hospital. Adjacent improvements start working without needing to watch them. So if I do this. Oh, okay, so you still need to activate this. How do I optimize that? How do I maximize then? Prophecy. Alright. Fucking kingdom infrastructure. Building upgrade. You know what? Let's go with that. Basic production, established production. Elite barracks. Let's go with that. Building upgrade. Artifact. Veteran barracks. We're gonna try it out, see if we can deal with this. I'm gonna face a fucking cyclops. Sire, do you recall the crocodile eggs you ordered to help defend the castle moat? Well, turns out they were mermaid eggs. No, sire, I didn't know mermaids hatched from eggs either. Unfortunately, mermaids are not very effective against goblins. Apparently, they're not their type. However, they've been very effective with our peasants. Several have jumped into the moat to meet them. On the bright side, the mermaid's magic makes our soil fertile. Hey, good guy. You're gonna break your arms in Beat Saber? Nice. I fucking love Beat Saber though. Building upgrade, 100 gold. Or max HP. Max HP is always something I enjoy. Deciding that their enchanting beauty should remain exclusively established at private reserve within the royal grounds. Strangely, numerous nobles begin investing generously in renovating and expanding nearby castle walls, specifically the sections overlooking the reserve. Attendance at dull court gatherings mysteriously improves, especially among previously unmotivated nobility. Tits. That's how you fucking engage your populace, is tits. Alright, so that one should go there. Let's go with this. And maybe this one up there. And one of these bad boys here. So this way I activate a fuck ton of different things at the same time. And that is not too bad. Beat Saber's exhausting, but so fun. Thought you were fixing BNS. Wait, what's BNS? Bullshit and such? Blah, blah. Gave up. Oh, so you give up, do you? Well, well, well. What would your mother say about this? No, I'm just kidding. Each active market provides 5 morale. Boost production by 25%. Passive increase in spell damage. No, I'm just gonna go with that then. Dragon hatch. Ooh, dragons. I need meal. Or what the fuck? Alright. Crystal Castle. Black Unicorn Field. Badass. We're gonna go with Dragon Hatchery. Because dragons are the coolest. Everybody knows dragons are the coolest. Oh my gosh. Mother. Let's fuck. Alright. We got good production going here. Oh, fuck off. We need iron. Alright, we definitely don't need water right now. I'm trying to get more comfortable with like removing and moving stuff as well. We're gonna have so much clay. With clay pit we could remove in favor of this building will not be returned upon demolition. Never mind then. We're gonna deplete it before we remove it. Magic College generates basic spells. Ooh, that's nice. Dragon's Bakery? No, that's too cute. Bakes white flower dragons into ash dragons. Fuck it. I don't even know what the black thing is there, but I want it just cause. There we go. Boost production by 30%. Let's go. Gain 3 crystals when you kill an enemy. Ooh. Bosses are down for 10% of their max HP after introduction. Yes. Alright, we have definitely lost some friends here. We need more swordsmen to man the walls. Come on, come on, come on. Alright. There we go. I love that my army is constantly getting heals as well. That's pretty fucking good. That is. Yeah, we gotta sell the wheat, I guess. Alright, the crystals are gonna run out soon. Nice. Denari, established production. Ooh. Iron Mine Vineyard. I think the Iron Mine is going to be the one. Academy of Nature. Longbowman's Camp. Firing range. I can't build any of these. I guess the firing range sounds cool. Fucking chain lightning. Always chain lightning. Chain lightning is dope. Oh, hey, you want to throw a piece of lightning through several people? Yes, actually I do. I need wood. Don't I have a gold mine somewhere? Yeah, I do. You know what? We're gonna... Gold mine. There we go. Pheasants' huts. Goodbye, peasants. The crossbowmen I haven't used, probably won't use. The hunters can go fuck themselves right up the ass. I would need a mill to be able to make my flower dragons. We could place a mill there and flower dragons here later. Something like that. Didn't lose a single dude. Nice. Gain 10% chance that your units will completely block damage. I won't say no to that. Damage dealt by your troops is increased by 20%. Why would I ever want to buy spells or resources or shit like this? Fuck me. The artifacts are the best. Alright, let's speed it up. Boss incoming, the Hungering Maw. Oh wait, that's actually the next boss. I kind of... Maybe I want to take it a little bit easier. Alright, time for me to lurk for a bit. Alright, see you later, good guy. Thanks for the lurk. I appreciate it and you. Oh, shit. Charismatic traders. No. The Hungering Maw. Ooh, that was a badass. What's it called? Design as well. Wait, let's see. What do we need for this? We actually need flour to build it as well. Right. Cool. Fuck it. We'll place a small wheat field there for in the meantime. What the fuck? Where did that crab come from? Where are these things coming from? Did I add them to the boss fight? No, I didn't. I didn't add them to the boss fight, right? Oh fuck. Am I out of... Hey bestie, I didn't get scared. I'm out of dudes. And I'm losing health quickly, and I don't have any spells left. Jesus, this is bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna die here. That's fucking annoying. Yep, defeat. Alright. Dang. Weeks lasted. Alright, continue. Well, so far, super fun game. Let's check out the upgrades. At the start of the turn, you'll receive a tile. Fucking embarrassing! A building that can place a seal of production on a tile. Alright. Receive 30 wine at the start of the run. Interesting. Place a magic seal on one of the tiles in your castle. Any building placed on the tile receives a 20% boost to production. Cool. Unlocks upgrades for troops and miscellaneous buildings. Place a magic seal on it. Boost production. Unlock a new playable king. Oh, okay, cool. Unlocks the first royal quest. Well, we gotta do that, right? Don't need any new kings, though. Branimir. Increases max castle HP by 100. You'll obtain a basic construction building. Random tile at the start of the run. Yo. Ask you to see all upcoming bosses or just the next one. No, it's fine. Obtain 5 each buildings, 3 small wheat farm. No, you will not receive buildings banned by other advisors. Okay. This is where we're going. Preparation. Alright, I built the challenges thing. The delay's slow. I'm gonna finish the book I started on today. Love you too, bestie. Have a wonderful time. After killing a boss. Something, something. Okay, so I gotta unlock these things as well. Unlocked after beating village at threat level 3. New threat levels are unlocked by defeating the final boss of the run in the previous level. Okay, gotcha. Touch the ball! Alright, yeah, so it's the same thing as last time. Let's go there instead. Peasant's hut. Let's see. Yeah, it's all good there. Alright, I feel like I might be getting a grip on this thing more and more. positive affirmation, you
Libs
say?
underscore just redeemed positive affirmation. Be nice to yourself, you pretty boy.
Oh my gosh. I am a pretty boy. I can't deny that. I'm fairly good looking. I'm a cute guy. That's as much as you're gonna get out of that positive affirmation. Yay, love. Levy barracks. Black sheep farm. The links may have use for them. Now I want hunters. Basic production. Let's go with gold, baby. Prophecy. Alright, dinar resources. So it's all just money. Money, money, money! Let's see. More money. Kingdom infrastructure. Advanced production. Things like I don't need those things. Necessarily. I can go with this, though. We'll see. Tax the forest goods. Spirits make for good mana crystals. Construct a shrine for the spirits. Receive building magic school. Jesus, this is difficult. We're gonna construct a shrine just because that's the nice thing to do. Alright. There we go. We need gold for that one. We're just gonna up our wood production right quick. Stinky nets. Yeah, 'cause we need gold for that one as well. So something like this, and then yeah, because then we can grab a gold mine anyway. Rush out, my peasants. Meet your doom. Come on. Don't fuck me over now. Oh, come on. Oh no. I chewed off more than I could swallow. $45 resources. Let's go with grapes. And yeah, a bone pit, I guess. Let's see if we can't do this instead. Yeah, because we need to make a bone pit as well. Jesus. I'm pissing my pants. Pissing my pants. Yeah, I never should have. I never should have told the game that I could definitely take on like this many dudes at one time. 80 denarii. Yo. We need water and food, and then we need to replenish our ranks. Oh, come on. How often do they want to attack me? This is really mean. This is not okay at all. Yes, kingdom infrastructure. Sacrificial stone, brick factory. Repairs the castle walls. Ooh. Actually really good to have. Grants 90% chance of receiving 5 flour upon skeleton's death. 90%. Well, that's pretty good. Man, I really need to upgrade my gaze as well. This is not going as well as I would have liked it to. Alright, we get a trader. Get a spell of your choice 2 times. Receive 1 wine for each well or big well in your castle every 10 seconds. That is actually really good. We're going to go for the wine. 25 food at the start of each wave. We're going to have a couple waves here. So, archery, hunters, whipman's house. No, we're gonna save up our money. And we're gonna produce some skeletons and some peasants. Let's go there. Can do this instead. There we go. Alright, now I have as much as or as many people as I can. Fuck me. Alright, there we go. I'm just gonna bring them all in the barracks. Barracks? Barracks? Barracks. I can boost production costs gold. That kind of sucks. Oh Jesus. Alright, levy barracks. Kind of want archery though. Big well is good. Small wheat field. Healer has full 10 HP when a production building is depleted, can be used 5 times. When your troop falls in battle, a dreadful creature will rise from the remains to fight for you. Fuck yeah. Fuck, buddy. Spell, resources, basic production. At that point, we might be able to do something worthwhile. Alright, wheat field. Basic production 2. Let's go with that. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. And we'll place the big well there. We'll do something like this. Yeah, don't really want to have the research table just, well, fuck it. Why not? Actually, I want that up there. Just because slowly generates basic spells. Cost stuff though. Gold mine. Big well. Let's go. Clay mine, let's go. Okay. We're getting wood and clay. Nice. Gold mine received. Why is it cursed? That's so mean. Fuck yes, finally. Increasing gaze. Sawmill, iron mine. Fucking iron mine, bruh. Precise shots, blah 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 blah. Alright, let's see. Spell. Summons an infernal creature to fight for you. Nice. Yeah. Building upgrade. Boost production. Boost morale. 38. Yo. Alright, I'm definitely hooked on this game. It's a really nice game. Just remove the wells up here. Right, maybe not all of them. Could do that. And then we'll move this one over here when that depletes. Get out the castle. Get out. Resources. Fucking metal, bro. Arcane. Cronenberg. Small bones and peasants. Fuck it. And let's go there instead, right? That's the way to do this. And then a wheat field there. Because like you want to produce the things you're selling. I'll remove this. Grab a crossbowman. Put that there. These guys are disgusting. Small ones. Wandering trader. Wait, it's a trader, but he has... Oh, okay, yeah. So when I defeat that wave, I get traders. Gotcha, bruh. Let's go. Increase these gains. Nice. Denari trader. Let's see. Gain 4 grapes when you kill an enemy. That's not bad. When choosing a reward, your first reroll is free. Grapes. Ooh, crystal mine is not a bad thing to have either, though. Where are you not producing? Alright, I'm gonna grab that. Let's go with this. Nice, Denari. Ooh, militia camp. Love a militia camp. Wouldn't mind that. Established production. Gold mine, iron mine, crystal mine. Crystal mine. Spell. Burns enemies that pass through it. Sweet. We'll go with that one. Gain 3 ore when you kill an enemy. Summon a temporary toad when a production building is depleted. Metal mask. Prophecy, let's go. Alright. Denari or resources? No, fuck resources. We're going with cash, money, and bitches. Alright, let's see if we can... Kingdom infrastructure. Let's see what we can get from there. 10 goblin bandits, dude. Choose reward, artifact, or you receive nothing. Band of marauders, the Iron Fang Riders, arrive at your gates. They are led by Tharg the Conqueror, a towering brute who apparently bathes in mud. They are demanding tributes of food, gold, and supplies for peace. Your advices are split. One suggests paying them off to buy time, while another mutters, no true king bows to a man wearing that much fur in summer. Buy time to prepare a special mud bath. Let's see what they can do against our walls. Max HP, baby. I'm just gonna quickly produce a skeleton. Oh, neat. But I need gold. I'm getting wood, iron, water, and gold. And crystals, obviously. Can I do that? This. Kind of want to switch those out. Nice. Let's grab a spell. frailty, basic production, a wheat field. Alright, bang. Let's go with that one.
Lau just redeemed hydrate.
Well, alright,
glug glug
fine.
mother lover.
There we go. Definitely need more wood production. I've got wells. Iron ore is fine. I can trade iron ore for cash. And cash is needed right now. Ground fire. Go forth, my minions, and slay. Yes. I'm so funny. TNT resources. We are going with metal. All right, we're gonna tell the peasants to take a fucking hike. You can take a fucking hike, bro. Alright, we're producing some militiamen. Let's see what we can do with all this junk. All this junk inside that trunk. How am I gonna get you drunk? I'm super cool, I promise. Ouchies. That's very mean. Kingdom infrastructure. King's ability to cool down recovery. Jack and Bakery. Monument of Gaze. Nice. Because then what I need is some motherfucking things. Gold is what I need. I'm fairly confident I can produce gold.
Mrs. Van 22 just redeemed kiss wife. Smooch.
Sorry, I
wife.
gotta run and smooch the wife.
Bird. Birdie. Birdie, birdie.
I kissed the wife, as I was instructed to do. Wait. Let's fucking see. You know what? Well, we need gold right now, so just max out gold. Oh shit. I entirely forgot that I was being attacked. Ooh, nice. Oh shit. Well. Trader. Production limits for starter buildings by 100%. Ooh. When your castle reaches 0 HP, it heals 20 HP and all enemies are stunned for 7 seconds. Can only be used once. I love a thing like that, though. Produce multiple resources at the same time. I want the lumberjack's farm. Blacksmith's farm. Yes. I mean... Wait, fuck. I need to make room in the army if I want to create more people for the army. I entirely forgot. Because I'm a dumb slut. Alright, first off, everyone out. Second off, come on, blow. Blow. Thank you. Ooh, just no good. This actually really bad. Oh, come on. Alright, I think I might need more troops. Jesus. Alright, legendary artifact. All troop buildings unit capacity by 1. Place a legendary seal on 3 tiles. Legendary seal. Let's grab a thunderstorm, veteran, explosive cart. I need the longbowman, I think. Established production. Huge wheat field. Yeah, I mean the grunts are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, so. Artifact. Do I need spells? I need spells though. Can I add another one? No. Troop training. Veteran barracks. Let's go with this. Magic College 2, loose random troops 4. That could actually be fine. No. You're gonna grab resources. Touch the ball to reveal your fate. Among dragons, Volcar is notoriously ill-tempered, known for its blistering rage and unhealthy obsession with gold. Oh, wait, this is a new boss. Anger. Though no one dares voice this within earshot of his lair, Volcar endures personal confrontations, chewing through foes with unsettling enthusiasm. When pressed, he takes to the skies, engulfing enemies and unlucky bystanders in molten flames. Some say Volcar's greed is his greatest weakness. Others wisely observe that it is in fact the sharp weapons of heroes. Sadly, very few live enough. Let's go. It's a good thing I'm grabbing some longbows then. Here we are. Alright, now I really gotta think here. First of all, we're gonna switch places for y'all. Second of all, something like that should be decent, right? We can even switch these places for now. So when that one destroys, I'm gonna grab the lumberjack's farm instead. Something shooting at me? Ooh, alright, wait, fuck. We got production increases on 3 tiles here. Let's place that there and that there. Alright, wait. Oh, I gotta think. And thinking is not my strong suit. So with this, the monument activates 3 different tiles. Here it just activates 2 different tiles. So I'm missing out on the legendary here. How can I deal with this without losing? I can, right? I gotta lose something here. Well, there we go. We're sacrificing some things for others. And that's the way it'll have to be today. Are we losing? Oh Jesus, alright. Summon Infernals again. Spell. Yes, turn to sheep. We're gonna grab the thing for warriors. Well, this is not satisfying at all. We got a lot of crystal. Let's put that up there then. Alright, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We're gonna survive. We're gonna survive. Alright, Denari artifact. Grants temporary units a 50% chance of being resummoned. Sure. Let's go with the ranged. I really gotta change this layout. We don't need to worry about that too much right now. Gold is still an important part of my life. Iron and wheat.
There we
Hello,
go.
Stratton.
Hello, Strom. Right, something like that, maybe? No, wait. Oh, shit. Alright. Let's hope this works. And doesn't suck balls. Nice. Alright, artifact. Receive 40 random basic resources at the start of each wave. Cool. Let's grab an ugly apple though. Longbowman's camp. Again, I don't have those resources. Frick, I should have grabbed the rando resources instead. Well. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle, or whatever they say. What the fuck? What happened there? What did I have there? I forgot. A gold mine, right. Alright, we need more. Fuck, we need more resources. Or more resource buildings. Or something like that. Let's just pump out some more dudes. After cutting 15 trees can get 400 wood. Gotcha. I really want that hospital. Let's see here. What could we need? More trees? For sure. Oh shit, we got a bunch of grapes as well, so we don't need that, definitely. Bosses are damaged for 10% of the max HP. Both of those are really, really good. Warrior troops use a 10% boost to damage, HP, and attack speed. Fuck it. We're going with the warrior helmets thingy. Alright. I think I might need to reintroduce the peasants again. Three out of 3, which I can't increase it more than that. That it? Alright, I think what we gotta do now is change the layout a bit. Fuck me. Like, I can have that activate 1 over. Because, like, what the fuck are these two gonna do? We're gonna place you there. I'm gonna place you there. Maybe we have you there. And you temporarily up there. Wait, no. Let's go with that. Like so for now. God damn it. Let's see, crystal mine, wheat field, iron mine. Can go with the iron mine. Definitely the infernos. Alright, let's see. Upgrade building, yes please. Kingdom infrastructure would be cool to have. Veteran barracks. And then just upgrade buildings. Established production would be cool to have. Troop training over there. Building upgrade. Increase max health, always, yeah. So we're giving them a home again. The ladies of the water. Vroom, vroom. Alright, what if we speed this fucker up? Because I can't do a whole lot here. Let's grab that. Oh, so it's when my temporary units die. Yo. Oh my gosh. I slaughtered them. That was a good TNT. That was a really good, well-placed TNT thing. Wheat field, boost production by 30%. Building upgrade, or boost production. Pass will increase spell damage dealt by 5%. That we could do, actually. We definitely need just more stuff. Let's grab a gold mine, I think. Alright, wait. Wood. Damages enemies, slows their attack speed by 30% and makes them drunk for 8 seconds. Let's see if we can fight them off without activating any spells. We could. Nice. Another monument to the King's Gaze. Yes. Wheat field. Production. Yeah. We gotta get more of those fuckers. There we go. Alright, some infernals there. Let's go. Veteran barracks. I need the fucking... Alright, Academy of Fire, established production. Iron mine. Eat my entire nutsack. Iron mine. I'm doing something really wrong here. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my boners. Right, what if... Hear me out. Hear me out. What if? Just increase gold production like crazy. I mean, we haven't had a clay mine in forever. Iron mine, sure. I mean, it's not going to do anything. We need steel, metal. Advanced production buildings. Yeah. Let's go with that instead. Yay! Fuck off. Explosive carts. I mean, I can make that one though. That's something. Bumblebee. Provides you with troop stat upgrades. That's actually nice. Definitely don't need the ore or anything. Explosive cart factory. Let's go with the hero statue. Yeah, we're gonna bring back that one. Grab the hero statue instead. Sure, let's grab a big well. Research table, monument to the king's gaze. Nope. Let's go with that then. Current lab. Pending rewards. Ooh, wait, so actually, oh, that's a super fucking good one then. Volcar, the gold hoarder. Alright, I'm gonna die now, right? Fuck off. This sucks balls. I don't need that right now. Definitely don't need gold right now. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I don't have nearly enough troops for this. Alright. He's fucking up my house. 30 cash though. Oh my gosh. You know what, gang? I think we're gonna call it a night here. Let's see which one of our friends is alive and kicking. Is that Mr. Nobles man? He is alive and kicking. We're gonna raid Nobles. Let's see. Raid Nobles TV. I think that's how you... I have the worst memory. Alright, we're gonna raid Nobles. Longtime friend of the show. Thanks for watching. Don't know when I stream next time. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe next week? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the subs. Love you all. Bye.